we're told stories designed to instill fear in our minds. We are taught to not accept shiny red apples from strangers, or go into the woods alone lest we encounter a big bad wolf. Best case scenario, these fears help us get through life without being poisoned or eaten. But most of the time, I think we let the fear of things we don't understand limit us. Because if we just find the courage to illuminate the dark places, they might turn out to not be so frightening at all. I've always had a hard time accepting what I don't know. I believe that with the right research, you can find the courage to conquer any fear. But I can tell you from experience that there are worse things out there than the witches and boogeymen of fairy tales. Things where the more you know, the more cause you have to fear them. I know now that courage isn't about being unafraid. It's about knowing when the danger is real and still doing what's right. You owe it to yourself to point your flashlight into the dark and see what you're actually dealing with. Because in most cases, knowledge will show you there's nothing to fear. And when it doesn't, it will give you the tools to defeat it. I am not afraid to face the dark of night. I am Linda Chanda, and I am a soul rider.
Most people would say that Jorvik is a paradise. But at street level, this place will chew you up, especially if you're a Cloudmill. My brother James is a magnet for trouble, and who has to save him from his self-inflicted messes? That's right, me. To look after your own, sometimes you have to get your hands dirty. And when you dress like I do, and have the wrong zip code, you're gonna face the consequences. Doesn't matter what's true. You can only hear them say you're trash so many times before you start to believe it. But then she showed up. Elizabeth saw the anger sparking inside me and didn't run away. She was the first one to believe that I could actually do something good. It wasn't easy living up to her expectations. I took her love and threw it back in her face. I said such awful things to her, but she stood there and took it all. It wasn't long before I got tired of fighting. It felt pretty good to be a part of something. I belonged. It's not like my life isn't filled with action anymore. Elizabeth showed me that violence solves nothing. Magic, on the other hand, I strike in the name of justice. I am Alex Cloudmill, and I am a soul rider.
One moment, you're basking in the Texas sun, riding side by side with your mom. And the next, things will never be the same again. It's not like I was all alone after the accident. I had my dad. At least in those rare moments when he wasn't caught up in his job. But we never really stayed long enough in one place to make it feel like home. I was always the new girl. Always out of place. But then I met him, and it felt like he had known me forever. Like a constellation, our stars were meant to shine together. And for the first time in years, I felt whole again. I think part of me was afraid to let someone in again. It just seemed easier to spare myself from the possibility of losing that person. But I understand now. To open up one's heart and bond with another always involves risk. But it's worth it. To love is actually to live. My heart is my greatest power. I am Lisa Peterson, and I am a soul rider.
They say that strength comes in numbers. So does being alone make you weak? I used to measure my worth in the people around me. If they wanted to take my picture, it must have meant I was worth noticing, right? But the truth is, most people that you meet in life don't really care about you. They love you for a second and forget about you the next. They move on. You'll never be complete if you rely on other people to make you happy, because one day they won't be there anymore. And then what will you have left? I'm not saying that I don't need my friends. There is strength in sisterhood, but I'll never again count on others to light my way. To own my destiny, I must shine with the power of my own sun. Friendship will never eclipse my independence. Alone, I am strong. With my friends, I'm unstoppable. I am Anne Von Blissen, and I am a soul rider.